What's up, A to Z Sports Live on a Thursday? My fault, we're running late today. I had some operational failures on my end, but I'm going to have a good show this morning talking about Will Levis's worst practice to date this offseason, Malik Willis's improved footwork drills, like I talked about I would do earlier in the week, and one position battle that is heating up as the Titans will wrap up mandatory minicamp today with day 3 of mandatory minicamp. So we'll have a great show today talking about all these things, got good videos, got good insight from my observations at day 2 of minicamp yesterday. And then it is Thursday, which means we've got the magic bucket, and I do have the magic bucket right here, Jack. So we're going to have a great show here on this Thursday. Let's get this thing off and rolling. Will Levis has a down day, but Malik Willis showing some signs of improvement. Welcome in. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Looking at over 100 you guys in the chat already. Only 7 likes I'm seeing on my screen. Let's bump those numbers up. We're at 10 now. Let's keep it rolling. Thumbs up to start the show. It helps us grow. It helps us reach new audience members. That grows A to Z Sports. All this is good for the company. So if you like the show, go ahead and drop a like to show your support. If you're watching on Facebook, share the show. Sharing is caring. Share it to your Titans Facebook groups. A lot of content coming out of Titans minicamp. We're getting to all of it this week. So go ahead and share the show to your Titans Facebook groups. I know you guys have opinions on the videos that we've seen surface from these things. Austin's going to give us a little inside information today on this show. So if you got anybody interested in some topics, bring them on in here. We'll talk a little Titans this morning. YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, tap that bell icon at the top of your screen and turn your notifications on. Just like the Titans minicamp content that we've been seeing on Twitter and Facebook, YouTube's going to have it all as well. You don't want to miss an update. Right now, it's hard to find Titans content anywhere. So when A to Z Sports goes live or updates their YouTube channel with new videos, you don't want to miss out on any of it. Get a little sneak peek. Be updated on the Titans. You'll know more than anybody else at the water cooler if you turn those notifications on YouTube. Finally, if you're watching on Twitch, text that Twitch link around to your Titans text groups. If you're getting ready for work, if you know somebody already at work, if you're already at work and you got a coworker who's sitting next to you, bored as hell, send them this link. Text them the Twitch link. Bring them on in here. Let's get everybody in here so we can take the temperature of the Titans fan base. And with all of that said, Austin, let's get the show on the road.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered as always by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Jack Gentry of the Tighten Up Podcast, and we are A to Z Sports, Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. Also hit us up on Instagram and TikTok and Threads for all of our great Titans content. Got to make sure we thank our sponsors because they truly make it happen for us and they help out all of you. Like Wilson County Hyundai, make Wilson County Hyundai a part of your new car buying process. See them in Lebanon or online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care, and Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans and do that while also visiting our link for a quote. That's fbhp.com/ATOZ. Jack, talking about Titans mandatory minicamp day 2. And excuse me, I'll be out there for day 3 today. I have to correct a massive mistake that I made yesterday, Jack. The camera is not showing it as much as it shows in real life, but your boy forgot to wear sunscreen. And so the neck got a little bit toasted. So the forearms and the neck got fried there yesterday out there. The sun was out and I was not prepared, but going to have a great Titans minicamp today, day 3 and the last day of Titans minicamp. But we're going to start by talking about Will Levis's struggles. We'll get to a conversation that we had earlier in the week about Malik Willis and what I told you I would do and get video of Malik so we can look at how he's improved from year 2 to year 3 thus far. And then one position group that is starting to heat up quite a bit, and that is the right guard position. So here we go. We're going to talk about Will Levis's struggles. So Jack, I'll kind of walk us through the linear timeline of what yesterday's practice was, because I was watching, we are able to film warm-ups and stretch. We are not able to film the second period, which is special teams for the guys who do special teams drills. but then the quarterbacks do some, other individual work as they get ready for actual individual periods. So during these special teams work, I was sitting there watching quarterbacks as they were doing some warming up drills, throwing some accuracy and timing and quick reading drills to get ready for the day. And I heard Nick Holtz talking about, hey, look, the cameras are out. You guys looking sharp today. Like, look at you guys out all accurate, all on the money, and saying things, pumping up his quarterbacks, as there were some, I guess, special guests there for the Titans that were not media, but I don't know if it was fans or season ticket members or suite members or sponsors or what, but they had some other people out there watching practice yesterday. And so it started off to be a good day for Will Levis, and then it was not a good day for Will Levis as they went to their 7-on-7 session during practice, and they did this in the red zone. So they took 4 snaps. Levis took 4 snaps from the 5-yard line and then 5 snaps from the 10-yard line, and it was no bueno for the second-year quarterback. I will show you all the reps from Will Levis's snaps in 7-on-7 in the red zone. He started off, the first series was a rough go-around from the 5-yard line. He overthrew Josh Wiley in the back of the end zone. That ball actually hit the ground outside of the end zone and then bounced so high, went over the fence and into the lake, which doesn't happen often. We can tell that Tom Brady did not inflate those footballs. Jack Gibbons then undercut Chigakonkwo for an interception on the goal line, where Levis threw that into traffic. DeAndre Hopkins was open early in that play, and Will Levis did not see him. Nick Holtz had, did give Diop some credit for the route that he threw. Amani Hooker then had a pass breakup on the 3rd snap to save an attempt for a Tyler Boyd touchdown. And the final snap of this first 7-on-7 was a sack as Burks fell down in the back of the end zone, and Will Levis basically just, scrambled away, and that was the end of that series. So then Levis comes back several minutes later from the 10-yard line, scrambles away for a coverage sack, no throw. Did have a pretty touchdown pass to Tyler Boyd between defenders in the end zone for a 10-yard touchdown. He just missed a deep corner touchdown opportunity to Schnee, who is a undrafted rookie free agent wide receiver, slot guy. And then a really nice touchdown catch from Tony Pollard on the goal line where Levis hit him in stride and on time. And then NWI couldn't quite get 2 feet in for a touchdown in the back of the end zone. And Jack, I told you in the pre-show convo that if NWI did, then it would have been like a holy crap, that was a hell of a grab. What a play by NWI. It would have been a high level, difficult touchdown catch from NWI. But if you look at it, not good. An interception in the red zone, only 2 completions that I have in these 9 snaps, and a couple times just had to scramble and throw it away. So not a great outing for Will Levis, struggling in 7-on-7 period. Jack, what's your initial takeaway from seeing Will Levis have a tough day?
Yeah, he's got a lot of new pieces to work with right now, and he's still learning this new scheme. I mean, we're only on day 2 of Titans minicamp, and I'd rather him make these mistakes now, and I feel like the chat's going to totally agree with this. It's better to make them now than in the regular season. And Brian Callahan, when he watched Will Levis's tape, he's already come out and said, some of the stuff that Will Levis did last year, a lot of times rookie quarterbacks are going to play a little conservatively. They're not going to want to make the big mistake because they've got to earn that starting quarterback job for the next season or that season, depending on who's, battling with them. And, when that's going on, sometimes these rookie quarterbacks, these younger guys who don't have much of a track record at the NFL level, they're a little gun shy. Not Will Levis. For better or for worse, Will Levis is not gun shy. So, look, if Will Levis is making these mistakes, if he's forcing balls into tight windows, if he's missing a couple throws here and there in minicamp, I'm not overly concerned. I also want him to play organically and naturally and not overthink it and not be afraid of making mistakes in front of a new coaching staff. Like, this job is his. The Titans have fully invested in Will Levis, invested in the people around Will Levis. So he needs to go out and play the way he normally plays. If he's throwing a pick to Jack Gibbons, if he's missing Wiley in the end zone, if he's throwing a ball a little too far out of bounds, that's all fine. Brian Callahan is there to coach those mistakes out of him. Bo Hardegree is there to coach those mistakes out of him. So I get it. You want Will Levis to be perfect all the time, but that's just not the reality at the NFL level. And the Titans defense, by the way, is much improved. It's not like he's throwing up against Trey Avery and Christian Fulton like he was last season. There are some big-time defenders on the other side of the football this year.
Well,
so he's going to make mistakes.
There's not L'Jarius Sneed. I'll tell you that much.
Awuzie's out there. Or
Cheeto's out there for portions of the time. He hasn't been playing every rep. Jack, I'll tell you, and Zach Reagan wrote an article about this on A2ZSports.com. There is a Vols undrafted free agent rookie who is working at some very high-level snaps for the Titans defense, and that is former Vol, former Vanderbilt corner, former BYU corner, Gabe Jeudy-Lally.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe Jeudy-Lally is pushing to make this football team as a UDFA corner. And that guy, I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to say too much. He is creating frustration with Titans receivers with his physicality, his size, his strength. So Gabe Jeudy-Lally has been a nuisance with L'Jarius Sneed not playing right now and Cheeto not really doing as much as he could because he doesn't have to. He's a 29-year-old veteran corner. Like, what does he have to do? Improve in June. So I think Gabe Jeudy-Lally is somebody, again, an undrafted free agent rookie who's creating problems. Like, that's happening. That is real. Was talking to some other media about that too. And so it's not like he's going up against, and we're talking about Jack Gibbons making a play. Gabe Jeudy-Lally is creating frustrations and Amani Hooker's out there, but there's no like real other safety, right? And then the other corners with Sneed not out there. And it is a little bit of Trey Avery. It is a little bit of some other guys, but Trey Avery's not getting a lot of high level snaps, but it's still like, I think the interesting thing about this is I think it's about what the defense is throwing at the offense right now. And Jemai had a comment that I was going to get to earlier. See if I can scroll up and find it. Or maybe I just, blew right by it. But Jemai said something about like how much of this is good defense and the defense creating issues for the Titans offense right now. And if you go back to the day before, you heard a lot about Brian Callahan talking about what Denard Wilson was throwing at him on a third down pressure day, that they saw all types of different pressures and looks from the defense that made this offense have to truly work. And so I think, look, if we're not going to play our big deal, small deal, no deal game for this Will Levis struggles. He did struggle yesterday with decision making, not really with accuracy, but I think that's a good thing because the defense is throwing a lot of things at the offense, and the defense is doing this without some of their key players out there in 7-on-7. Like Kenneth Murray is not getting every snap and every rep right now because he's still working back through the return to play protocol, as they say. Elijah Molden's your starting free safety right now. I just mentioned Gabe Jeudy-Lally is getting a lot of play against guys like DeAndre Hopkins and other top receivers for the Titans defense. And Cheeto's kind of a part-time guy right now. So I think it's interesting that I think it's a lot of scheme that's creating Will Levis having some missed throws or hanging onto the ball. A lot of these coverage sacks, I think, are because there's some disguising going on, which I think is pretty interesting.
Yeah, and that's what we've been hearing from Denard Wilson. I mean, aggressive was his word of the day yesterday when describing his defensive scheme. And I'm with you. I do think it's a scheme thing over personnel. Like sure, the Titans' top guys aren't out there. Big Jeff's not out there in 7-on-7. Sweat's still missing. Obviously, you have a free safety spot you probably have to figure out in free agency at some point or another. Snead's still working his way back. Murray's still on his way back. But the chaos that Denard Wilson is creating on the back end is going to be something that's awesome. That's going to be awesome to watch in the regular season. We forget that Denard Wilson's defense in Baltimore was very opportunistic. I mean, his defense led the NFL in interceptions, in takeaways with 31 last season. That was tied with the New York Giants for best in the league. So he's going to run a defense that's going to do this to quarterbacks. He's going to make quarterbacks look bad on certain days. That's going to come at Will Levis's expense. Malik Willis, Mason Rudolph, all these guys are going to have tough days against Denard Wilson's defense. I think that's a good thing, though. Like, just because Will Levis is playing poorly, there's always, glass half full outlook on this. Okay, well, Will Levis struggled. Well, that means the secondary's back. That means the secondary's playing a whole lot better. Last season, the secondary couldn't stop a nosebleed on 3rd and long. So this is a great sign for the defense. Will Levis and this offense, it's going to take time, right? They need to build a rapport together. There's a lot of new faces on offense. It's a new scheme. It's going to take a whole lot of reps to iron out. So just because it's a little rough around the edges right now doesn't mean that this thing isn't going to get humming by the time training camp rolls around.
Yeah, and like Darren says, it's a great thing. I agree. I think it is a great thing that the fact that the Titans defense is creating Will Levis to have a bad day. And this was by far the worst day that Will Levis has had so far this offseason that I have seen. Look, I've only seen 4 practices, right? I've seen 2 OTAs and now 2 mini camps, and I'll see a 3rd mini camp today. Will Levis overall has been good. Like, I've seen progression from him. I've seen improvement. He looks to have more touch on his throws. He's not just rifling the ball in there every damn time. He's throwing the ball down the field. He's pushing it into places. He's making throws in tight windows. And he's also making the safe throws. He's not just being super risky. I think he's only thrown 1 pick so far. And look, you throw a lot of passes in practice, right? That's the point. And the fact is that he has 1 interception through the 4 days that I've seen. And Jack Gibbons made a nice play too. And this was a Jack Gibbons catching the football right around his knees at the goal line to snag a pick from Will Levis. And that was a low throw to try to fit it in a window where the receiver could grab it on the goal line. And Jack Gibbons made a nice play, and everybody celebrated because it's always good to get one on the starting quarterback if you're a guy fighting for a starting job too. So, all right, Jack, let's talk a little bit about Malik Willis because I've got video from Malik Willis, like I said I would do earlier in the week, that shows off some footwork drills for Malik, including a brand new drill the Titans quarterbacks are doing with new quarterbacks coach Bo Hardigree that I think is pretty impressive. But first, let me tell you guys about the Bone and Joint Institute. boneandjointtn.org is their website where you can book an appointment whenever an injury occurs in life. I've been saying this. Yesterday, I had another physical therapy session with the Bone and Joint Institute, their clinic and physical therapy center in Brentwood. Jack, after just 3 sessions, like my knee tendonitis is significantly improving. I'm doing all types of exercises to work on eccentric movements, to work on quad strength and control, to work on my hamstring and my core balance to help support that patella tendonitis that I have developed over the last several months. And it's really allowing me to hopefully get back to doing what I want to do, full exercise, full life, running around at Titans practice and not worrying about my tendonitis at all. So it really is making a big difference. They're using science and different technologies to do that, like restricting blood flow to simulate weight-bearing movements, which is pretty interesting in how that works. But the Bone and Joint Institute, they have all the experts and the resources and the science and tech right there for you to get back to living your life the way you want to after an injury. And you can do all of that and get them started to help you out with your injury process. And book an appointment to get started today, boneandjointtn.org.
What a great day it is in the sports world. The NBA finals are here. The NHL Stanley Cup playoff finals, those start on Saturday. It's a great time to be a sports fan, not to mention super regionals getting going here in a little bit as well. Get in the game with BetMGM, guys. If you're looking to switch up sports books, if you're looking to sign up, you got a hunch deep inside you and you want to put some money on a game, do it with BetMGM and download the app. New users, make sure you plug in our bonus code A to Z Sports so you get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets. If your first bet misses, BetMGM's got you covered. Don't worry about losing that first one. You get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets, but only if you plug in our bonus code A to Z Sports, only at BetMGM.
BetMGM and GameSwitch remind you to play responsibly. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older. Tennessee only new customer offer. All promotions subject to qualification and other requirements. First online real money wager. Only rewards issued in non-dribble bonus bets that expire in 7 days. And for problem game support, call Tennessee Redline 800-889-9789. A to Z Sports, you're live on this Thursday. We will be back out there at Titans minicamp practice later on today. That content for today's work will be out there around 12:50, 1 o'clock Central Time after practice ends. And yesterday, I did get some good video of Malik Willis working on his footwork. I said, I believe it was either Monday, I think it was Monday, that I would work on getting some side-by-side comparison on the 3 quarterbacks working together, and we'll see if we can find anything about Malik Willis's footwork and improvement. But a new drill that the Titans are doing with their quarterbacks that I saw for the first time yesterday was quarterback Bo Hardigree has a handful of beanbags. And the quarterback takes a shotgun snap, and then he goes back into his drop. Bo Hardigree throws the beanbags out there to a spot. The quarterback has to shuffle his feet to the beanbag, not avoiding it, but to the beanbag with proper pocket movement skills. And then Hardigree throws one to one side. Quarterback has to roll out, escape from the pocket, and make a throw, followed by some other drills with some quarterback footwork here. But here is Malik Willis's work with the beanbag pocket work. So that's pretty quick. I'm going to play the first part again, and I'll stop it after that beanbag drill. But here's Malik Willis in the beanbag drill again. All right, so Jack, I'm curious. I have some takeaways from this. So, and Major Key says Austin with the ooh. That was not me doing the ooh that you heard in the video. It would have been way louder because the phone was right by my face. But Jack, what's your takeaway from watching Malik do a couple of those footwork drills? Because I definitely have what I saw there.
Yeah, I mean, his feet look better. The thing that impressed me the most was the drill, not really, who was doing the drill. I think this is a really cool way to help these quarterbacks, be able to feel comfortable stepping up in the pocket, shift the pocket a little bit with their feet, depending on where the pressure is coming from. But here's the thing on Malik Willis, in my opinion. He's got a lot of Treylon Burks to him. And Treylon Burks is obviously going to be a bigger contributor to the Titans this season. That goes without saying. But he can look great in practice. He can look great in minicamp. He can look great doing all these drills. Won't really matter to me. I need to see him with pressure bearing down, being able to handle that, being able to go through his progressions, make the right read, make the right throw, and not just tap that football, look to take off to run, and then lose 7 yards. I've seen way too much of that from Malik Willis in his first 2 seasons with the Titans. So this is great. This is going to help him, get better in those areas. But I just need to see it against live competition. So it might be a little unfair to Malik Willis, but no matter what he does in camp against Ghost or against Air, it's not going to be enough to sway me right now. And we talked yesterday about, potentially creating some trade value if Malik Willis, performs well in the preseason. Maybe you can bump that 7th round pick you might get for him up to a 6th, and may not sound like much, but it's something. And, 6th round picks have turned out to do good things in this league before, it's few and far between, but until Malik Willis, until I see him kind of dance in the pocket under pressure, make a composed throw against, an actual team, then I'm not going to really go out on a limb and say, oh, Malik Willis is, taking significant strides this offseason. No, I got to see it against live competition.
Well, so I want to ask this question to everybody here. How much more improved does Malik Willis look fundamentally? Because what you're saying there is, yeah, obviously we have to see him make decisions and throw the football on time and accurately and make plays when the live bullets are flying in a preseason game before we can truly judge much of anything. But when I'm watching Malik Willis practice, I can tell a difference. I think he's improved significantly when it comes to him fundamentally. Rooney says he's always looked good practicing, not good under pressure. And I don't know if this is about Treylon Burks. I don't know if this is about Malik Willis. I don't know if this is about any other Titans that have not been gamers like Kyle Phillips. But no, I think the thing, Malik Willis, let me clear something up. Malik Willis has not always looked good in practice. In fact, he's looked bad in practice. Malik Willis does not look good in practice really ever. He goes through 7-on-7 drills where he doesn't throw the football. You throw the damn ball. That's the point of the drill. There's no pass rush. Get rid of the damn football. Will Levis had a couple times where he scrambled. It was a sack, but he still would throw the football at the end of the play to see if something could happen. But you got to throw the ball. And Malik has not looked good in practice. And Darren says, I can't tell if Malik did well or did good or not without knowing where his eyes are. And I think that's a good comment. But the point of the drill is to keep your eyes up. I'll show the video again of the beanbag drill. It's about keeping your eyes up and seeing in your peripheral where Hardigree is throwing the beanbags and shuffling your feet there. And while you're watching his eyes, here's my main takeaway. Look at how stable his stance looks. His base remains wide and solid. His base, like he doesn't bring his feet too close to each other. He doesn't cross up his feet. He stays under control and balanced and solid with a wide base the entirety of that while maneuvering through a pocket presence move. So watch his base staying wide. And with his base staying wide, you'll see when Hardigree flips that bing bag out to the right to roll out to his right, because his base is wide and solid, he's able to escape without taking any false steps. So his eyes stay up down the field, not at the bing bags, and his footwork is a lot more improved. And then he makes a nice throw to the new guy who's catching pass from the quarterback, who's pretty athletic, by the way. I actually did some looking up. He played college lacrosse. So look, I still think there's significant improvement there. Does that mean he's going to make the team? No. We have 4 options. We went over 4 options. I think it was Tuesday of where Malik can be. He can either be the 3rd quarterback on the active roster, get cut and signed to the practice squad, get cut and moved on altogether, or be traded. Those are the 4 options for Malik Willis at the end of training camp. What will he be? I don't know. And him having improved footwork doesn't say he's going to make the team or not. But my point is that is significant improvement from what I've seen from Malik Willis the last 2 summers, that his footwork is sloppy, his base is not always consistent, and he's unable to use his athleticism because he doesn't have good footwork. I think it's a good sign that Malik Willis is showing improvement right here.
Couple comments here. Sir Esther's saying he looked good, but it'll show in the preseason. Yes. And then our guy Trey Wynn says none of this matters unless he's making good decisions and playing good football when it matters. When it matters for Malik Willis is the preseason.
Again, it does matter. This does matter because, and Trey, you know this, you were a left tackle for 30-something games in high school, right? You know that it does matter because if you have bad footwork in practice, then you're going to have bad footwork in a game. And if you have bad footwork in a game, you're probably going to make late decisions or late throws because your feet aren't ready, or inaccurate throws if your feet aren't ready. So it does matter. It's not the end all be all. It's not saying the result, but it does matter.
It is the decision-making against live competition, though, that I'm interested in. The decision is predetermined. It's already made. He's not throwing against the defense. So, of course he's going to look okay in some of these drills. And some of the stuff we talked about with Will Levis earlier about how Brian Callahan wants him to just play naturally and not worry about making a mistake. I feel like Malik Willis, because his leash is a little bit shorter, is kind of on the opposite end of that spectrum. I mean, ever since he's been in Nashville, he's been afraid to make those mistakes. Vrabel pulled him out of multiple preseason games. A problem with Malik Willis was him not throwing the football because he's afraid to make a mistake. I want to see that coached out of him. And I want to see Malik Willis be able to let loose, because at the end of the day, what does Malik Willis have to lose right now? Nothing. I mean, the Titans starting quarterback and backup quarterback's already set in stone. So he needs to go out there and play with almost a reckless abandonment and go out there and try and show everyone out. Look, because this is an audition for 31 other teams, if not only for the Titans, for Malik Willis to go out and impress people in preseason. And it all starts in training camp. Before training camp, obviously minicamp, work on the fundamentals, get the feet right. Then, when you feel pressure, you kind of know what to do. You got to know how to handle it. And then you can work on making that decision, making the read. And that's kind of the full package when it comes to Malik. What we need to see, this is just step 1, right? It's a baby step, but it is a step forward.
And that's my point. Caleb on YouTube says Austin isn't trying to convince everybody that Malik is improved, just showing what I see. Oh, no, he is improved. A lot of times, the person who wins most improved player, it means they sucked the year before and they don't suck now, right? I'm not trying to say he still sucks or he doesn't suck. I'm just saying from where he was the last time we saw Malik Willis play and the last time I watched, I'm stacking Malik Willis's footwork from the summer after he was drafted to the summer last year to now. That's 3 summers in a row that I am banking his reps and his footwork, and he has improved. There is improvement. There is progress, forward progress. That is a good thing. Does it mean he's going to make the roster? Hell no. But it is a step forward, and I think here's the big deal. Malik Willis is making forward steps under a new coaching staff. He did not under the first coaching staff. If anything, this should show that if you are a Malik Willis doubter, then this should do so much for your confidence in Brian Callahan, Nick Holtz, and Bo Hardigree in doing the same thing for Will Levis, right?
Yeah.
If anything, seeing Malik Willis's improvement through 2 months of working with this coaching staff should make you feel better about Will Levis's potential improvement.
Sure. I agree with that. And we talked about yesterday, Malik Willis was dealt a bad hand at some of the coaches that were key factors in molding him and developing him. He didn't have a quarterback guy last year. And Pat O'Hara was demoted after Malik Willis's rookie season. So having a guy like Bo Hardigree, having a guy like Brian Callahan, Nick Holtz, all around Malik Willis is going to benefit him. I do expect him to take a jump forward this year. I just don't know if it's going to be a big enough jump forward for Malik Willis to stick around in Tennessee. But if he does take a significant stride forward, it's good for the Titans. Malik Willis playing well is good for the Titans, whether they want to keep him on the roster or move him for a pick. So Titans fans, I get it. There's been some frustration with Malik Willis, but the best thing for the Titans is that Malik Willis is playing well. And right now, he's off to a good start.
Yep, without a doubt. All right, A to Z Sports here live on this Thursday. We do have a position battle that is beginning to heat up, and this because of one player who's making it very well known of what his goal is, and that is Dylan Radunz makes his goals public. So we'll discuss that about the right guard position and really how the rest of this offensive line is beginning to take shape. Real quick, Farm Bureau Health Plans, they can help you have your health coverage start to take better shape by getting you better coverage. That's better health coverage, better dental coverage, better vision coverage. Don't pay out of pocket for your vision or your dental situation. Don't go to the dentist and have to pay out of pocket. Go to Farm Bureau Health Plans and save money. Get better rates with the better coverage with Farm Bureau Health Plans. They've been helping Tennesseans for over 77 years. And they can do the same thing for you. They've done that with my parents recently as my mom's retirement. She had to change her coverage package, and that's all gone. That ran out, so they had to go do something else as empty nesters, and they went to Farm Bureau Health Plans, and they saved them so much money. I'm not even going to mention it. So much money saved because of how they operated and maneuvered through my parents' situation there. So Farm Bureau Health Plans is where to go across the entire state of Tennessee and get a quote today by using our link, fbhp.com/ATOZ.
BetMGM.com, get in the game with the king of sports books. If you want to throw a little money down on anything going on right now, you got the MLB every day, college baseball super regionals coming up, NBA finals are here, NHL Stanley Cup finals are coming. It's a great time to get in the game. Do it with BetMGM. New users, when you sign up, make sure you use our bonus code A to Z Sports so you get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses. Great deal going on right now, only at BetMGM and only with our bonus code A to Z Sports.
All right, so we're going to talk about Dylan Radunz right now because Dylan Radunz talked to the media. I think this is for the first time this offseason, but had a lot of good things to say. And this is not Dylan Radunz, Titans offensive lineman. This is Dylan Radunz, Titans guard.
I learned a lot from Bill. Obviously, there's a lot of wisdom and experience there. He's been around the league a long time and coached a lot of great football players. So, obviously, it's been good just learning from him. And, yeah, I'm just striving to be a starter. Obviously, I want that spot. So that's what I'm going to try to do. That's what I'm striving to do, and we'll see what happens.
You talk about your playing guard. I mean, how good is it to be able to lock in at one spot and just sharpen your skills?
Yeah, that's where I've been working out mostly this offseason. And, like I said, being able to learn from Bill at that one spot it's been awesome. Learned a lot so far, and it's going well.
My bad. How early in the process did it become evident that, that was going to be your focus?
I think the first time I sat down with Bill, I think that was kind of the conversation we had, just moving to guard and working predominantly at guard and stuff. And, I mean, I know I can play other positions as well, but just being able to focus on one is pretty nice.
As a result of that, did that kind of impact – you look like you're physically bigger, stronger. Did that impact, that decision to
I think just, obviously last offseason I was rehabbing my knee the whole time. So just coming into an offseason where I'm able to just put on healthy and good weight throughout the whole offseason, having a good offseason training program. I give props to the new the strength staff we have too. I feel like I've been able to gain a lot of muscle on that. So I wouldn't say it's predominantly just because I'm moving to guard, but I'd say it's just been a good offseason for training-wise.
What'd you play out last year? Where are you now?
I was like 308 last year, and I think 2 days ago I weighed 317, but we'll see. I'll probably play around 310, 315.
So there's Dylan Radunz, Titans guard. Jack, he said, I'm striving for that starting spot. And we just heard Sadiq Charles a couple days ago saying that he's been working, and Sadiq Charles said it, so we can say it. Sadiq Charles has been working as the number 1 right guard. Dylan Radunz is striving for that right guard spot. Something else we learned yesterday, Daniel Brunskill has been working as the second center. That was from Daniel Brunskill confirming that. So the more that these guys talk and the more that these guys say certain things, that kind of starts to tell us the picture of where this Titans O-line is. And so it's Sadiq Charles versus Dylan Radunz for that right guard spot. And yeah, Brunskill says he wants to play right guard too. But as of right now, it's Charles versus Radunz. And I'll say this about Dylan Radunz. When I watched him a couple weeks ago doing some O-line drills, he looked significantly different to me. He looked more athletic, stronger, faster, more powerful. Sadiq Charles is a bigger guy. I know Buck has talked a lot about Brian Callahan and the Bengals guards and what their weights are. Typically, guards for the Bengals are well over 310 pounds, and Dylan Radunz at 317. That's big for him. Sadiq Charles, big boy. Peter Skoronski's gotten bigger, thicker too. Lloyd Cushenberry's a big dude. So, Jack, what's your takeaway from what you heard there from Dylan Radunz?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's great that they have a plan for him. I feel like, honestly, Radunz's versatility has kind of worked against him a little bit because he hadn't really been able to settle in at one of those spots. And he's played 4 different spots in the offensive line for the Titans. They just needed him in all kinds of different places at some point to, do a patchwork or a bridge job while one player's, getting back to full strength, or, they're missing one guy here, missing another guy there. So it's nice to see that they have a plan for Radunz. And it's also really cool to see that they're creating extra value with Daniel Brunskill. Because, sure, you can have 3 competent right guards or, close to competent right guards, hopefully. But what's the point in just stashing Brunskill as your 3rd right guard and having no other use for him, right? Might as well
backup center.
Get him work. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Might as well get him work behind Cushenberry at center. So it's nice to see them creating value for some of these players who are pretty versatile. With Radunz, I really hope that he goes out there and earns it. I think that would be the best thing for the Titans is if Radunz went out there and won that right guard job outright, didn't leave much of a doubt in the air or for Bill Callahan. So, look, I'm pulling for Radunz. I think that getting some return on that second-round investment that the Titans spent would be great. But at this stage, I don't think you can expect that from Dylan Radunz. So, look, I like the plan. I need to see more.
Yeah, and it's early, and they're not doing anything with pads on. So there's no seeing how the offensive line is progressing other than just seeing what they're doing in these drills. And, Radunz continued to talk about him going through the Bertha and Olga moves as well. And like every time we talk to the different offensive linemen, you got to get their feels on Bertha and Olga. And it is making these guys work. Like it is talking to Leroy Watson yesterday. And he was like, yeah, they put those things on a plane from Cleveland and flew them down here. And I was like, damn it. I got to see these things again every damn day. And so like, it's something that, that these guys is truly making them better, and what Bill Callahan's doing and what I thought it was interesting that from the first conversation that Dylan Radunz had with Bill Callahan, it was guard all the way, guard. And so, I think it was a couple weeks ago, Jack, maybe it was you and I had the conversation. I was like, all right, how are the Titans going to get their best 5 out there? Like, if Sadiq Charles wins the right guard spot, does that make Dylan Radunz a part of the right tackle position? Well, I don't think so. Like, I think it's Dylan Radunz as the guard. And Dylan Radunz might be the backup guard to both Peter Skoronski and Sadiq Charles if he can't win that starting job that he's striving for. Now what happens at right tackle if Dylan Radunz is not within that position? Because you've got John Njoku, who's taking advantage of NPF and Jalen Duncan having some injuries, and we'll figure out. The right tackle seems to be the last one that is truly unclaimed. Like, I think right guard, we know it's going to be a couple of different guys.
Mm-hmm.
But right tackle, I don't know. It could be 4 different players at this point.
And that scares the hell out of me, Austin, if I'm being quite honest with you. It does. Because I want MPF to take a big step this year. Like, he started behind the 8 ball last year with the suspension, never really caught on, never really saw the field a whole lot. And, you know, talk about a return on your investment. You'd love to see NPF pan out a little bit. You know, there were a couple games his rookie season where Titans fans got their hopes up, but there were also some really bad performances in that rookie year. So I want to see NPF step up to the plate. You got Leroy Watson, like you just mentioned. He's going to be in the mix, and they've got a handful of guys actually going to be in the mix for that right tackle job. But no matter who, like, there's 3 spots in this offensive line that are solidified. You got your left tackle in Latham. You got Skoronski at guard. You got Cushenberry at center. What happens on the right side is totally up to these players. So it's going to be something to absolutely monitor. And I would like some stability. I would like 2 guys to go out there and separate themselves from the rest of the group. I don't want it to be neck and neck. I don't want it to be like the college depth chart that we've talked about. Leroy Watson or NPF starting at right tackle on Sunday. I want one of those dudes to go out and earn that job and leave no doubt in this coaching staff.
Yeah, I see a comment from Devin that's funny. Devin says, it's like they don't think good edge rushers line up on the right side, LOL, over the right tackle. And like, I'm literally going, Jack, right now to the stats from last year. TJ Watt, Trey Hendrickson, Josh Allen from Jacksonville. Those 3 players were number 1, number 2, number 3 in the NFL in sacks. Right tackle, right tackle, right tackle. So the top 3 sack getters in the NFL last year were against the right tackle, and the right tackle. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, 19 sacks. For TJ Watt, the Bengals, Trey Hendrickson, 17.5 sacks. And Josh Allen for the Jags, who you got to play twice. And you got to play Trey Hendrickson too. If he's still there, he doesn't hold out or something weird happened because he requested a trade with the Bengals. You got to play 3 games against those 2 guys this upcoming year. And hell, Daniil Hunter was 5th in the league in sacks, and he's in Houston. You got to play him. Is Khalil Mack still a Charger?
Yes, I believe so. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go. So you have to play 6 games right now against the top 5 sack guys from last year. You don't have to play TJ Watt this year. So there you go. And I don't know where Daniil Hunter is going to line up. I don't know where Khalil Mack's going to line up, but 3 of those guys are going to be 3 of those games are going to be against right tackle top sack guys. So that's interesting overall. So I did see, you got anything else on that?
Well, I was going to say, we talked about play calling predictability, you know, being a problem over the last couple of years for the Titans in personnel groupings. Here's one thing you can expect. A lot of help on the right side with the tight ends and a lot of help on the right side with the running backs, because that right side's going to need a little extra hands. Nick
Vanette, who's the Jeff Swain version of 2024, said that he currently weighs like 275. That's a big tight end. That is basically Aaron Brewer playing tight end at 275. Bork says the right tackle may not even be on the roster yet. It wasn't at this time a year ago.
True, Hubbard. We'll see. And, you know, I hope that they explore these. They need to turn over every single possible stone out there in order to find an answer for a big problem. I mean, you're weak at right tackle, and Will Levis's health is in jeopardy, right? You can invest in all these receivers. You can invest in the left tackle. You can bring in Cushenberry at center. But if he's still taking hits, you know, coming right at his face, there's still a major risk there. And I want the Titans to shore up that issue as soon as possible, whether they find an answer in-house or in free agency.
Yep, for sure. All right, A to D Sports here. I guess real quick. I think Devin says Bosa lines up there too. You talking about Joey with the Chargers? Because they do play the Chargers, right? So you got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. So you're going to get one of those guys going up against J.C. Latham and one of them going against enter right tackle name here.
Another thing, we're concerned about the pass rushers, but Brian Callahan does run quick game really well. Like Jake Browning last year got the ball out of his hands very quickly, and so did Joe Burrow. And we've talked, at different points of this offseason about how in Cincinnati, like Callahan and Zach Taylor would have to scheme up ways to get the ball out of Burrow's hands as quick as possible because the offensive line in front of them stunk. So this is not a problem that's foreign to Callahan. Titans fans should take some solace in the fact that he's had to overcome some of these issues before and really hasn't had much trouble doing so.
Yep, no doubt. All right, A to D Sports here live on this Thursday. We got more minicamp practice coming up later today. I do have a couple super chats to get to. Andre says, it's wild to see how early in the process that this coaching staff is showing their competency versus prior. Some of the underperformers now have a chance. So I think this could be an article and a show topic for the future, Jack. I think Andre's onto something. I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of this and text it to you so we can use this for later once we have like 6 consecutive weeks of no new content. But I think what Andre is saying here is, yeah, there are absolutely some guys who have been underperformers that might have a new chance, new life with this Titans coaching staff. I think that's a really good point from Andre. And I heard Ramon, Kalen, Will talking about this on the Zone this morning, that watching these drills and watching these new coaches coach doesn't automatically mean that the previous coaches didn't coach. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Like, everything's new. So like there is no other option but teaching right now. Like that, because they're doing new drills because there's new coaches and new coaches have different drills than the previous coaches. And so they're having to teach, they're having to coach, they're having to work on fundamentals because everything's brand new. And so when things weren't brand new, when you're in year 6 of a head coach and year 4 of an offensive philosophy or year 5 of an offensive philosophy with the same wide receivers coach for 6 years, like there's not as much teaching unless you're talking about the rookies or the free agents. So I think we have to remember that you can't just automatically dump on the previous coaching staff because everything's new. Everything has to be taught.
Absolutely. I think that's well said. And, it is nice to see, though, lower round draft picks, some overlooked free agents coming in and hopefully overperforming their expectations or, exceeding their expectations. Whereas it felt like too often under John Robinson and Mike Vrabel, some of these high draft picks, your Radunz, your NPFs, the list goes on and on, kind of underperforming and not quite meeting the bar that was set for them coming out. So we'll see how it all pans out and how it all shakes out. But, again, you're going to need to see this against live competition. Minicamp's one thing. Doing it against dudes in different jerseys or even the same jerseys with pads on is a little bit different.
Other super chat before the Magic Bucket from Jonathan. Can you confirm Sam's whereabouts? No. All right, Magic Bucket time here on the show here. Shout out Wilson County Hyundai. WilsonCountyHyundai.com is where to go. Make them a part of your new car buying process. Go see our friend Payne Bone and his team in Levin, or check them out online at WilsonCountyHyundai.com. So check them out there for your new ride. Jack, it is Magic Bucket time. I think I go first this week because you went first last week.
You got that right.
Yeah, I don't even know if the order of the Magic Bucket really means anything or not, but okay. Here we go. I did my top 5 TV shows, so I will put that. Wait, you've done that too, right? So I can try. Mm-hmm. That's gone. Gone. Okay. All right. I've done the Heisman Trophy thing too. You have not.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, read it to me one more time.
Name as many Heisman Trophy winners as I can since the year 2020.
Okay, yeah, no, this is still for you. Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, I've done that
before.
Lucas, is Sam still with A to Z? Yes. Okay. Alrighty. I don't think I've done this one. I think you've done this one. Have I done what's the best appetizer of all time?
I want to say you did, but I forgot your answer. I remember I had
we have too many things here. So, all right, man. Damn it. This is not good, Jack. I've done all these
Running
things.
dry.
There's so many, like, look how many things are in this bucket. Like, there's things I haven't done here. I just keep pulling the same stuff. Here we go. I have not done this. So maybe this is what we'll do one day next week, because you did this earlier in the offseason. You're the GM of the Titans for one day. What are 3 moves I would make?
Cool.
So
Perfect.
that might be our show next Thursday, Jack. We'll see. Or next whatever.
Yeah, there's about 3 moves I can think of right now that they need to make.
All right. So now this is for you. I'm keeping the ones that I've already pulled out. So let's see what we got here for Jack. Oh, God. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology says that this is the most difficult tongue twister in the world. You have to say it 5 times fast. Okay?
Oh, God.
I'm going to text it to you so you can also have it on your phone to use as you go. But I will read it out loud. Pad kid, poured, curd, pulled, cod.
Oh,
So I just
God.
texted it to you so you can grab your phone and have that.
Got it.
But this is pad kid, poured, curd, pulled, cod.
All right.
5 times, Jack. 5 times. Pad kid, poured, curd, pulled, cod.
All righty. I'm ready to do this. All right. Nobody screen record. All right. Ready? Pad kid poured curd pulled cod. 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 It's tough. It's a tough one. I came close. I gave it a run, but that's a tough one.
I thought your first 4 were phenomenal. Then you're like, wait, was that 4?
I thought I did 5. Yeah.
And then the 5th one, you just completely botched it.
I got out of my rhythm. I know. I was in a nice pocket right there for a second.
Oh, man. If anybody wants to try it, I will text it. Somebody asked if I could send it in the chat. So pad, kid, poured, curd, pulled, cod.
MIT came up with that one, huh? All right.
Yeah, that is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which is MIT for those that didn't realize. Yeah. All right. That is it for today's Thursday show. That's a good one, talking about Will Levis' struggles, Malik Willis's improved footwork, and Dylan Radunz striving for the right guard starting job, and how the offensive line maybe starting to take some form here. Make sure you hit that like button. I did see a guy, King VC, came in late with his super chat on like the show. Hit that like button, please, for us before you head out of here. I'm headed to St. Thomas Sports Park for another minicamp practice. We'll have content coming out around 12:50 to 1 o'clock once practice wraps up. So get ready for that across all of our platforms. Buck Rising will be live tonight for A to Z Sports Primetime at 7 p.m. Central. And Jack and I'll be back tomorrow morning to wrap up our week on a Friday. Appreciate it as always.
Tighten up pod out now.